Make sure you check the descriptions for any links to important articles I may post, good information you can find, and things along those lines, and come to your own conclusions. But I was really thinking about how funny Donald Trump is, looking at some of the clips from him riffing at the rallies he's been at recently, and he is just too funny. He'll talk with people, and they're gonna be like, I love you, I love you, I love all of you, and yeah, I love you, and get them out, no coats, no coats, get them out. And it's funny because at the same time, it's always like there's always two things that are slightly amusing. It's Trump, one, he's talking about what he's doing, but he's being funny, and there's the media trying to get him caught in saying something that whatever. But there is just a list of funny clips of Trump, especially you can find them on YouTube. You can find them on you can look up, I'm sure, like best of Trump's greatest hits or whatever, or greatest insults or funniest comebacks. But I mean, and we saw it even in the debates back when he was debating Hillary. It's like, well, I'm just glad that Donald Trump is not our president. And then, I mean, what is that? Half a second, he goes, "'Cause you'd be in jail." Oh my God! And everyone just died, and you have to listen to the mod. It was more like you were watching like an exhibition bout, like it was a boxing match or something. You have the moderators, Anderson Cooper, whoever, saying, quiet down, quiet down. Or when he was on the Republican stage, and there was Jeb Bush, I think, said something, and then Trump said something to respond, and then you just get boo. You get boos from the crowd. This was early on. And he goes, "Oh, look at that. That's his special interest. Those are his donors. Those are the donors booing." I mean, he's insulting the crowd. He's insulting the crowd. It's Trump versus Jeb. Trump versus the crowd. I mean, there is the comments of him being like, Jeb, more energy tonight. I like that, Jeb. I mean, some of the times, I mean, it does go into the realm of kind of like school, childish, which I think was one thing in the campaign, and people were more fine with that because, one, he wasn't really a politician at that point. He hadn't won anything, but now it's a different situation, which he is somebody, in our highest public office. So it kind of holds a different weight. I don't think he's been as aggressive as he was back in the campaign. That's probably just because of the campaign. I think he's mellowed out in many senses. As far as Trump goes, I mean, he's still, I think, above more than most people's level when it comes to, the back and forth jabs that are taken. But it all started with that Rosie O'Donnell comment. And I think ever since that point, a lot of Americans saw just, how much wit he has when you put him in the ring against other people. And one problem that, and I think he's still kind of kept his teeth kind of sharp when it comes to, playing with the media. One thing I noticed is, the media was not ready for Trump at all. And I think they still aren't. And, the fear is that one day they will be ready for a Trump-like person because he's not a very common character. But, they'd be like, Donald Trump, you said this. And then he'd be like, oh, I did. And then wasn't going to back down. And the media didn't even know what to do. I guess, the only strategy that I think comes from like the left-wing media is just double down. So they doubled down and he went, oh, yeah, maybe, I don't know. And then you probably lob an insult back and people laugh, and it hasn't really worked out. And I think the media has been trying for 3 years, because really counting the campaign trail, it's almost like he's been in office for 3 years based off of how much criticism he's had. Maybe, I mean, you could double it because he gets more criticism. I feel like the news cycle moves twice as fast into Trump. So maybe 6 years of criticism and airtime. But he got billions of dollars of airtime. It wasn't until like maybe 6 months later that they realized that Trump had been given billions and billions of airtime. But like a bad addiction, it's not like you can just quit covering Trump. He was definitely making news organizations a lot of money based off of what he was saying. The crazy thing is, and kind of caveat to Trump being funny, is sometimes he says stuff that he shouldn't say or is inappropriate or crosses the line. But the bad thing that happens is, like I said, the strategy is only doubled down. So a lot of, you'll see news organizations double down on nonsense and be even more nonsensical, and then it kind of takes away from their ability to just criticize, because you know if he's criticizable at a level 5 and then you ratchet up to a level 9 or 10 criticism, people see when you overdo it. So that's something that I think the media should hopefully recognize and work on. That works for other candidates, maybe not on Trump. Less is more might be the answer for Trump, but yeah, I think it's pretty clear that he's a pretty funny, witty guy at times.